Peace and love. My name is Bubbles, and this is the Bubbly Love Show. The Bubbly Love Show. As I come on here, I just remember that I only have one of these on. Well, we're gonna rock with it right now. Oh man, so I'm excited to be here today. I am outdoors again. I had to do some stuff today, y'all, but I am so proud of myself for staying consistent through all of the changes, through all of the things that is like unpredictable, still staying consistent to what it is that I want to move it out so people's not walking in the back. But still staying consistent to what I said I was going to do. And I said that I was going to come on here at 5:30 p.m. EST on Thursdays. And that's what I'm doing. So go and dust your shoulders off. You feel me? I'm really grateful. I've been learning just the power of affirming yourself and also giving yourself credit for all of the things that you are doing. There are times that we can tend to just find all of the things wrong with our lives, find all of the things wrong with the things that we don't want or we don't want to see. But we need to take time to acknowledge all that you are doing. Acknowledge all that you are doing. Acknowledge that you are further along than you were yesterday. You are further along than you were last year. You are further along than you was an hour ago. So give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a hug. And embrace yourself, love yourself through it all. It's not about the destination, it's truly about the journey, and just love yourself through it all again. So I'ma just give this chat. You know, I've been out since like 7 a.m. so my phone is not as charged as I would have liked it to be, but again, I'ma just work with it, and I'm gonna let spirit just guide me in this chat. And I'm going to come off probably a little bit earlier than 6:30, but it's all good. I trust that everything that is meant to be communicated and all those who are meant to receive it shall receive, and it shall be communicated. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So the way that I would like to always start is I would like to give gratitude with our breath. So let's do some intentional breaths, and then we're going to get into the chattings because I have a lot to chat about today because it's been a day. Okay, let's do some grounding though. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths. So put your hands at center or wherever is comfortable for you and take a deep inhale. I actually just read in this book. It was amazing. It was such a dope reminder. I was reading this Reiki book today. And what I would like to do is when we take this deep inhale, I want us to exhale slowly, okay? So let's take a deep inhale. And hold. And exhale slowly. Deep inhale. And hold. Exhale slowly. One more, let's make it count. Deep inhale, bring it down to the toes. And hold. Exhale slowly. Give yourself a hug. Say, I love me. I am divine. Like the sun, I shine. I have everything that I need. I am balanced. I am infinite. I am powerful. I am bold. I am honest. I practice free expression. I am open to receive. I release what is not for me. I am forgiveness. I am consistent. I keep my word with myself and others. I speak words of power and upliftment and of love. Okay, y'all. Doing deep breaths and doing our affirmations is always essential for me. It's, oh, whoa. The wind is trying to get my kimono. Look at my kimono. Trying to get my kimono to blow away while I'm to the wind. Alright, so okay, so today's topics on the Bubbly Love Show are temperance, temptation, and emotional regulation. Emotional regulation. So those are the topics. I want to talk about the reason why I was choosing these, because it was like in the middle of the night. Do y'all hear me good? Just confirm for me, please. I'm doing my best. I'm in the middle of NYC right now. I kind of like traveling with these Bubbly Love shows, but it's very unpredictable. All right. I'm going to just continue to do my best. So the reason why I chose these topics is because the other night AM, it was like 2 a.m. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for your confirmation. So it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, it was like 1:43, because I don't know, that time is coming to me. So that's what time it was. It was 1:43, y'all. And I was like, alright, what we gonna talk about on the Bubbly Love Show? I already knew that I had an event today, so I was like, let me not even invite. Thank you so much, Sean. I love y'all. Thank you. So I was like, alright, let me not even this time around, let me just do the talking, and then next week is gonna be a special show because I got a guest and we're gonna be in person with each other. I'll talk about that later though. But I was like, I already knew I had an event today. So I was just like, all right, let me just come on here. And I was like, and I asked myself, like, the way that I decided, I asked myself, I said, okay, Deja, well, what have you been going through lately? Like, how was your week? What are the different lessons that you've been learning? What are the things that you would like to share? Because certain times when it comes to the Bubbly Love Show, it just comes to me kind of like spontaneously. But this time around, I was just like, there's so many different things I would love to talk about. But again, this is the way I came up with it. I was like, well, you know, what have I been going through? And I was like, the word, the temp kept coming to me, right? So realize the first 3 words, it has all temp in it, right? So temper, temperance, and temptation. So I ended up looking up the prefix of temp, right? And temp means time. And it's funny because if you know like about like the temp positions, I used to do so much temping, y'all. It was my way of like freelancing and just to be able to get my myself into different positions, because those full-time positions was never for my spirit. So I like the temp jobs, like working in fashion and stuff like that, because I got to see like a lot of different offices. Like I've worked at, let me tell y'all, I've worked at like Kate Spade, Burberry, Rag and Bone. That's what I'm remembering off the top of my head right now. But oh, well, Jimmy Choo. Well, Jimmy Choo was actually a temp job. That was like my first one. But I've got to work at all of those cool organizations through temp agencies. So shout out to temping, okay? I ended up working at Lord & Taylor, like for real. Well, I don't want to say for real. I want to say full time, like outside of the temp world. But those opportunities opened me up to be able to even be eligible to work at other fashion corporate offices. So shout out to the temp jobs. So I want to talk about the word temp meaning time, right? And what's so funny, y'all, this is why I'm like, yo, nothing is by accident, everything is divine. So true word, my third eye itch. Anytime my third eye itch, that means it's the truth, y'all. So I actually just shared a video, the Bubbly Love message of the day. I just shared it, like probably not even an hour ago, right? And I literally said to know what you want so that you don't waste your valuable time, right? And it just so happens that the conversation we're talking about is time. And I just want to express the value of your time. Time is something that you will never get back. So, right? And then I want to talk about a bit about why I said that message. And I want to talk about how I realized just from an experience just now, because I got to put it all out there, because this is just who I am. Like, I don't like keeping secrets. I don't like to keep it short, which I'm going to just keep it a buck. So look, so, you know, like I usually, outside of like me being a performing artist and doing all my creative work and stuff, right? I usually teach part-time, right? Teaching part-time is something that I will forever, well, I don't want to say it like that. Teaching is something that I will forever do, right? At this moment, it's part-time at these other organizations. But teaching is something that I'm going to always do because I love it so much, right? It's a part of my purpose. It's a part of my journey. It's what I'm supposed to do, right? However, I've been wanting to, like, it's been coming to me because I love traveling so much that I would like to get into like social media, like influencer, like content creation positions, right? Because I do this anyway. So I'm like, if I could find like what it came to me earlier, because at first I had this whole ego trip about jobs, and I was like, well, if it's something that's in alignment for you, first of all, it's training. And then here's what came up to me, the message that came. It was like, Deja, just think about it as you're working with a company, doing what you love, with a company that already has the funding, until your Bubbles LLC gets that funding to be able to consistently pay yourself and also to have employees, right? It's okay to do these part-time jobs that's in alignment. Always got to make sure it's in alignment, right? That's in alignment with the things that you love to do, because that's how you're training, that's how you're building. So think about it as in you're collaborating with companies that already have the funding. And I was like, that's good, right? So I found this company that they work with TikTok and it's like social media influencers. So I was like, all right, let me go check it out. Went to the interview. I already felt from the beginning when I walk in and out of the office, I was just having these like flashbacks of when I used to work corporate and I used to have to dress this other type of way. Cause like, you see what I'm wearing? Like, I'm wearing my Kirby shirt, but you see what I'm wearing a Kirby shirt and I'm wearing silver pants, y'all. Like, I gotta be myself. I'm saying I'm not dressing like nobody else for none of these jobs. If it ain't for me, then it ain't for me. And then I just wear my kimono over, so that's like my business attire. Don't know, you know what I'm saying? Then you already know we gotta have the furs on. You already know. So this is my business outfit. This is my corporate thing. You know what I'm saying? if it's a social media influencer, for me, I'm like, you got to be yourself, right? Thank you. I'm like, you got to be yourself. So I'm like, and like I said, I'm like, I left my corporate job back in 2019. I'm not going back to wearing nothing that is not me, bro. So like I said, if they do not see me for who I am and all of the value that I bring to a company as I am in my free expression, then me no want it, right? So I boom. So I went to the interview, and all I know is that okay. I still want to be mindful of what I'm saying because I could be a little raw. All right. So from the energy that I went in, I already felt like I'm like the office. I was confused. It was in Long Island City. I'm like, why they got me out here on the 7 train? I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll be open. Son, when sis started talking about the position, like the thing is, like I'm into like content creation, as in, first of all, I like to capture things too, right? So I really ideally would love to like capture and then like edit videos. Hi birdie, hi baby. And like edit videos and then also be like a brand ambassador. Like that's my vibes, right? This birdie is so close to me. You want to come on the video, bro? Hold on. My bad, you see, I'm sorry. It wasn't for the camera. My bad, y'all, my bad. The birdie said didn't want to be on the camera. It was for me. My bad, boo. Come back. So essentially, I gotta agree ground, okay. So essentially the lady started talking about the brand, right? And when I tell you, it was on some like sales commission things, like they had a base pay or whatever, but it was plus commission. But when I tell you, a lot of those commission jobs, because I'm telling you, like my background is in fashion. Like I've been doing fashion for like legit, how old am I? I've been doing fashion since I was like, dang, I was in internships too when I was like 17, 18. So I've been doing fashion like 12 years, y'all. 12 years. I've been outside doing fashion, right? That's my corporate background. Like that's what I majored in school, in college, is like fashion marketing, merchandising. Like that's my thing. So I've worked so many sales associate jobs, and I've specifically worked at, to talk about like commission, I specifically worked at Sunglass Hut on 42nd Street, Times Square. And when I tell you we had to sell, like it's like we got a base pay and it was plus commission. When I tell you I was selling $500 something and seeing like and I mean multiple $500 something glasses, like the cheapest glasses, the most affordable glasses we had was probably like $150, $200, and that was like Coach, because Coach ain't popping like it used to be. But then their retail price just is not that high. So when I tell you I was selling all of these glasses, y'all, and on my check at the end of those 2 weeks was like an extra $75. And then it was just this one time in the summertime where it was an extra $150, which that was cool, but that was the only time, and that's because Maui Gym was having a promotion. Yeah. Neither here nor there. I learned from that job that I don't want to do no commission work. I don't. It's not what I want to do. It's just not for me. And I know that. So once sis started talking about the whole commission thing, and I asked her, I said, oh, so if a person is being, because they said they want a person that's energetic, doing live streams, I'm like, all right, I do that. And then she's like, yeah, but you know, we want to, like, we look at the metrics, like how much of the clothing that you're selling. So I was like, so do you look at the position that, like, if a person does not sell these things, that they're not doing good at the job? And she's like, yeah, that's basically what we're looking at. I was like, thank you so much for your time. But as I mentioned, I have an extensive background in fashion, and I am not interested in anything that has to do with commission and y'all judging me off of what I'm selling. Thank you and have a good day. And then it just made me connect about how even in relationships, y'all, I was like, oh snap, I spent my time in this relationship for this amount of time because I didn't 100% know what I wanted. And then it made me think about, well, how about the times when you do know what you want It's straight through. Like, you know what you want, so when you see it, you go for it. You know what you want. When you don't see it, you leave it alone, and you do not waste your valuable time. That's what that story was for. Getting now to temper. I want to talk about temper because there's been some, I told you I was outside from like 7 a.m. today. So there has been some different things that could have brought my temper flaring up. And I am Sun and Moon Aries, just for y'all that who don't know. And just for y'all who maybe don't know about astrology, those is 2 fire signs. I'm a double fire sign, right? So I could be very energetic, very fiery, right? But something about Aries is that you can be like a balanced Aries, an intentional Aries can be like the leader, right? So you can use that fire for power. Like, I'm using this for power, to educate, to initiate things, right? But then that fire can also, like in an balanced way, it could just flare up and just destroy things and just fee, fa, fo, fum, giant energy, kick down everything. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that no more. Because, like, I mean, I've had my share of, like, anger in the past. And to be quite honest, like, even when it comes to anger specifically, anger is connected with the liver. And as I mentioned on, like, these live shows, because I'm, like, all open about it, like, I've healed my liver and still healing, because the liver is something that regenerates. It's actually the only organ that regenerates. But I've definitely healed it from an ailment that I was diagnosed with. But and that's the thing, everything that's like happens physically, like that manifests as a physical ailment or sickness, right, is something spiritual as well. And I'm gonna be honest, I used to be so angry, like and more than just be angry, I used to allow things, like my temper, I used to allow things to really get me upset very, very fast, like a light switch, like fast. And I'm so proud of myself to say now that I have way more patience. I have so much more patience. Now that does not mean that I do not get angry sometimes. It does not mean that I don't have a temper sometimes, right? So when I looked up the word temper, it was defined as having, it said like your mind state, the state of mind, either being angry or being calm. Excuse me. So like you can have an angry temper, you can also have like a calm temper. And when I think about that, it's kind of just short for temperance, right? When we look at the tarot card of temperance, it's like self-restraint. It's like allowing things to happen and you not just so quick to react, right? You allow it to happen. And it brings me back to like time. You allow the time to pass, like, and not quickly again react, and you just breathe, allow it, and then you go on, right? So what came to me as I was creating these topics was like, oh, okay, so patience is like, seems like to be like the formula of how you can deal with temperance, and then also temptation. I want to connect it to that now. So let's just do a review. Temper, you're getting upset and angry, and you can take the time, right, to breathe, reflect, and not react quickly, right? So having patience to do that. Temperance is connected to patience because you have the self-restraint to, again, not react so quickly, right? And just allow the time to pass, have the patience with whatever is happening, right? Even if it irks you, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta respond like that. You could, you know what I'm saying? Keep it chill. Keep it chill. Just throw some water on you. Throw some spiritual water on you. Alright, I'm cooled down now. You know what I'm saying? And then now, third, temptation. This is a fun one because it's like, how is that connected? Let me tell you how. Because, all right, you know that song? It was. I just remember Beyonce is in it, and then it's like mad other people, like a bunch of other people. But it's like I'm fighting temptation, babe. Something control. Y'all remember that song? It's like, and it's like connected to that old movie that she was in. Like, that was Beyonce with the braids, Destiny's Child days. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, Fighting Temptation, essentially, right? Oh, that's the movie name of it, is Fighting Temptation, and she sang the soundtrack. Alright, so, temptation. When I think about what temptation is, right? Think about, it's like this iron. Yes, Fighting Temptation. So, temptation, right? Temptation, I looked up that word too. And it's like the deep desire for something, right? And then think about, and then it says specifically, it said the deep desire for something, especially something that is like negative, right? It's not even like the deep desire for something good. Temptation is usually referred to something that is like not good for you, right? Like negative, right? That you're tempted by, like, okay, I don't smoke anymore, but then I be seeing people smoking, or my cousin be leaving these spliffs with the grabber in it. That's how I used to smoke, and I'm looking at it like a little tempted, like, should I take a pull? I don't want to feel like that, though. I remember the last time I was high and my body said it don't like it no more. So I was like, I ain't gonna do it. Yo, this happened to me legit the other day. I was like, I don't even want to smoke no more. I don't even like smoking no more. But then I seen it, and I remember the way he rolled, and I was like, damn, son. I was like, why you gotta be right there like that looking at me, son? But I was like, I ain't gonna do that, because I know where I'm at. I'm like, I just had a conversation about this on a live with Child, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay strong. And look, I'm gonna practice patience, because what am I trying to like smoke for? What am I trying to do something that I told myself that I would like to do? So having that mental discipline, that capacity to be like, slow your road, right? Because if I'm moving too fast, then it's like, yeah, let me take a few pulls. Because that's what happened to me some months back when I had stopped smoking, and then he had a spliff, and then I was like, let me take a few pulls. And I was flying, son, and I was like, why did I do this? I was in the shower like, God, please, I don't want to be high anymore. So I was moving too fast. So temptation, I feel like, is connected to time and moving fast again, and having to have patience. Because if you truly ask yourself, you have this deep desire for something that's not good for you, actually sit with yourself for a minute. And that's what I did too. I was like, do I really want to split? Like, wow, what would be the reason that I want to split right now? And I was like, curiosity. And I was like, remember what I said last week? Curiosity killed the cat. And I was like, all right, I ain't killing my kitty. I ain't killing my kitty. I ain't killing my intuition. You heard? I love the little kitty cats. I ain't killing it. I'm gonna let it live. I'm gonna let it live. So I was like, all right, if the reason why I want to smoke is not even no reason away from like, oh yeah, and I had a long day, and I was like, maybe it'll ground me. I was like, bro, that's not gonna ground you. It's gonna make you fly. And I was like, all right, you right. And I was just like, let me just take a shower and just chill. Like, I don't gotta do something outside of myself or intake anything to ground myself. Like, that's the reason why I learned about meditation and even like playing my drum, like finding different things that work for you when it comes to grounding yourself, so that you're not feeling like you need any type of outside substance. Even when it comes to food, because food is very grounding. There are certain foods specifically, like ginger or your turmeric, right? Or like the roots. So like potatoes, or like sweet potatoes, root vegetables, right? Those are very grounding if we want to get deeper. But food in general is a very grounding thing, right? So that's, and what I mean by that is it brings you back to like this reality, being human in this experience. That's why a lot of times, if there's anyone who like practices, I know y'all practice fasting because that's what we do outside. And if you don't, I would definitely recommend it. I'll talk more about fasting in another show. But fasting has completely changed my life. Like, for real, it's changed my life in so many magical ways. Because the times when you do fast, even if you're doing the intermittent fasting and not eating by 12 o'clock, until 12 o'clock, or doing a liquid fast or doing a dry fast, however you may seem, Like, so I used to work with this organization, or I used to volunteer really with this organization, and we would do these 3-day dry fasts. Excuse me. And when I tell you your intuition is just so much more heightened, excuse me, like so heightened, right? I was eating chips before I came on here, y'all, and I didn't get to get a bev. No bev, but that's another story. But my intuition, it gets so much more heightened when I'm fasting, right? So I'm like able to just communicate and channel and get a lot of messages. And then think about like when you eat, it's again, like I said, bringing you back into this reality. So it's grounding you in some sense, right? We understand that? All right, cool. So again, now back to the temptation. Asking yourself if there's something that you're tempted by that you know is not good for you. Asking yourself, like really sitting with yourself and asking yourself, why is it that I want blank? Right? Why is it that I want this food that make my stomach bloat? I'm gluten sensitive, so I'm talking about me right now. I'm always gonna talk about me first, and then you can add wherever it is that you resonate with, right? So I'm like, why am I gonna eat this this gluten that I'm sensitive to? Why am I gonna eat this food that makes my tummy bloat? Why am I going to smoke when I decided that I don't want to smoke anymore? I want to be sober. Why am I gonna drink when it doesn't make me feel good? When it literally led to sickness, right? Like, why am I gonna do that? And just to be real, I'm not tempted by drinking anymore. That's a long ways away. But I want to talk about when I first did stop drinking, and I used to go to parties or like just events with my friends, and I used to feel so sad that I couldn't drink. And it's technically like I could drink, because it's like you can do whatever you want, right? But I cared about my life and my healing so much that I decided not to drink. I decided that wasn't something that I wanted to continue to indulge in. I decided that I cared about my life and my health and my growth more than a substance that I'm intaking. And the same thing when it comes to marijuana. I decided that I would like my voice to be the most beautiful voice that it could be. I decided that I care about my throat and my throat chakra and my expression more than just inhaling. I decided that I wanted to do the thing that is most challenging to me, which was stop smoking at a point, right? And it's like, yeah, even when I went celibate, like I remember I decided that I wanted to stop doing something that I was excessively doing, because it became a normalization to me to have sex, because I thought that after I was a virgin, I'm just supposed to have sex. I wasn't taught about that. Like, true word. It was a stigma. I feel like it's a stigma in many houses. I'm not going to say all, because it's not all houses, but it's a stigma, unfortunately, within our culture to not talk to the children about sex. But then you tell the child not to come home pregnant. That's what I was told. I was just told not to come home pregnant. So I was just like, all right, as long as I don't come home pregnant, I'm good. But I can have sex though, because I'm not a virgin, so I'm supposed to have sex. If I like somebody, they like me, we're supposed to have sex. Like, I didn't learn about that. And that's my truth. And I had to go through my self-love journey and experience, and I'm still going through my self-love journey and my experience. Still, you know, and it's like I have to be honest about all of these things, because I like to come on here and to really share from my own story and my own testimony and trials about the things that I've overcame, and then also the things that I'm still overcoming, the things that I'm still working through, to just inspire and share with you that you can do it too. If I can do it, you could do it. You know, like, we are literally here on this plane together. There's a reason why you're not the only human on the world and I'm not the only human on the world. We truly do need each other. If you somehow found my page, whether you met me in person or you was recommended, it's a reason why we connected. It's a reason, like, we're connected. If you're resonating with the things that I'm saying, it's a reason. So I always love to just share the vulnerability. Now that we talked about temper, temptation, and temperance, I would like to connect it to emotional regulation, because at first those were just the 3 topics. And more than just the way that I made the flyer, because the flyer was looking a little like it was missing something. And I was like, is it just because it's these 3 words like this? And I was like, nah, I want to connect something else to it. So then I think a night or 2 after, it was like, you know what, emotional regulation. The reason why I connected to emotional regulation is because remember what we talked about being tempered, like basically remember how we made the connection of having patience, right? Having patience helping with all these 3 things, right? And I realized that you wouldn't necessarily, or it will be more challenging to have patience if you're not regulating your emotions and you're not moving fast off of emotion, right? You're not just reacting like, I'm gonna curse this person out because they stepped on my shoe, right? So that's your emotions, right? So we need to learn how to regulate our own emotions. And I would say that there's no like one set formula, like you do this 1, 2, 3, and then that's just you know, emotional regulation. Even me studying like art therapy now as a certified art therapist, I'm not proud to say that because it is truly in my spirit, in my heart, like this is what I want to do, and I'm just gonna keep honing this craft. But even when it comes to like art therapy, I would not tell a student that just do this and it's gonna cure you. Like, no, I'm gonna get to know that student, know more about, and that's even what we were taught in like the trainings, is like you ask them, for instance, if it's art therapy, I ask you like, do you like to draw more? Do you like to paint more? If you say you like to paint more, I'm not going to just have you drawing, because drawing has been healing for me, right? It's about customizing these practices, customizing these remedies to each person, each individual. And you know yourself more than anybody. So I can just share tips. I can share that, like when we start and we do those breathing exercises, I would encourage you to look up different breathing exercises. It doesn't have to be the one that I did earlier. Look up different breathing exercises. The reason why I feel strongly about breathing exercises is because what do we need in order to live? What is it that we didn't even have to learn? We didn't have to learn how to breathe. We didn't come out of our mom's womb and they was like, all right, Deja, go like this, and then go like this. Like, right? We just naturally learned how to do it. So I truly believe that breathing exercises is helpful. I learned from another like licensed art therapist, and she's like licensed in mental and like counseling, and she's basically about to be like, she's like my new mentor. I didn't tell her that yet, but she's basically about to be my new mentor. But she did tell me something that I found to be interesting, and I'm gonna just share it because I don't know much yet about it. But she basically was like, that's why sometimes you can't just be like, oh, you can't tell people like to, oh, go practice this mindfulness exercise, because certain type of breathing can like not work for certain individuals. And she kind of explained why, like briefly, but I didn't 100% understand. So again, I'm expressing from my perspective and what I see to be true. But what I will always say is that you do your own research, and then again, practice the thing and see how it works for you. Something that I will always that I would like to share though, when it comes to breathing exercises, because I've even done it with little children, and I'm like, okay, be aware of this, right? Something when it comes to breathing as well is that a lot of times if we're not used to doing deep breathing exercises, there can be okay, I'm gonna say can. There can be different like places of tension within your body that connects to a lot of times like trauma that is like built up in different parts of your body, right? So what I'm saying is that when you're breathing deep, like into your diaphragm and into your womb and down to your toes and all that, that deep breath when you bring it up, it can be some stagnation down there, and because you're finally stimulating to put air there, you can end up like crying. Like I've had this experience, and I've had a student have this experience. Little girl, yo, I was like, no, don't cry. But I was aware of it, and because I've been practicing it, I was able to do something for her to feel better. But still, it was something to be aware of, and it's something that I want to share with you all as well. If you find yourself to do these deep breathing exercises, or maybe any other deep breathing exercises, and you end up like crying, I just want to give that sign, that note, maybe warning, I guess, but I want to really share that knowledge that the reason why it's happening is because you're tapping into some held on emotions that you did not release, and because you're breathing into it now, it's releasing. So that's why it's important for us to be mindful, again, like the times that we're eating, even to like not eat your emotions, essentially, right? Not drink your emotions, not smoke your emotions away. So that's connected again to like the emotional regulation and knowing where you're at when it comes to mind, body, and spirit. And even if you're not feeling okay, that's okay too. There's hundreds of thousands of millions of trillions and billions and trillions of, there's infinite possibility when it comes to healing methods, right? Again, I'm going to share some that has worked for me and I've seen work for others. Like I said, breathing exercises. So another thing, it can be playing like the djembe or the drum. It's an anxiety reliever. Or just playing any instrument that resonates with you. Music therapy, sound therapy, right? If you like art, drawing, right? Painting, sculpting. It's something about doing things with your hands. If that's you, that's healing, right? Putting those emotions into something that you're doing. What I tend to do nowadays, because I don't smoke, I realize that I used to just really like, I like to do things with my hands. And sometimes when I was rolling up, it's because I'm an artist. I like to do stuff with my hands. So now I've started like doing a lot of hand sewing. I sew my machine as well, which is a dope, like I love it so much. But it's this other feeling about hand sewing. And the cool thing about hand sewing is that I can bring it anywhere where I go, you know? So I've started hand sewing. So that helps me sometimes where I'm just feeling like a little jittery, or just I kind of want to do something, or I just kind of want to ground myself and block out other things. I'll start sewing, right? So there's so many different practices. If you want more, you can DM me. You already know the vibes. But yeah, so let's do a review. Is that valuing your time, taking the time to deal with your emotions, being mindful, practicing patience so that you're not going off on nobody, you know, controlling your temper, regulating your temper. And then also, I gotta mention this, that allowing your emotions to flow as well. If you do feel an emotion, again, finding something where you can transmute that energy. It's not going to just leave. Like if you find yourself getting angry about something or whatever, allow yourself. Know that you have the permission to be angry or sad about something, but don't sit in it. And also find a way to transmute that energy. There's always a way to transmute it, right? That's a part of, again, the emotional regulation, because the emotion's not going to go nowhere. And also, don't dig it down, because that's how you're going to get to what I was just talking about, how you breathing, and now you got all this stagnant energy within your body, right? So find a way to transmute it. Dancing, word, how I miss dancing. Dancing, singing, rapping, poetry, so many different ways. By the way, you know, I have the Bubbly Love course, which is in the form of an ebook and the physical copy on Amazon.com if you want a whole list of all these art therapy practices in these different modalities. And I also have journaling there, theater, fashion, so all of the things that I love and that I've been talking about. So that's another resource as well. Outside of that, y'all, just remember to just keep loving yourself. Love on yourself. Love on yourself. Just keep loving on yourself. Forgive yourself. That's why one of those affirmations earlier was forgiveness. I am forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Yes, forgive others too, but forgive yourself. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay that you got upset and maybe you did something that wasn't of your character. That's another thing about Temperance. The Temperance Tarot card is about ensuring that you're yourself and not in like, think about if you get angry and you like say something that you don't mean, would you say, is that the real you? No, it's not the real you. It's something that you said out of emotion. It's something that manifests out of emotion. It was fast. It's not the real you, right? You put your foot in your mouth. I think that's funny. I don't say that a lot. But I don't even know if I ever said that. But yeah, that's a funny phrase. So essentially being the real you and having the temperance, the self-restraints to regulate your emotions, regulate your mind, body, and spirit. Take bubble baths, put some herbs in it, put some flowers in it, practice a bunch of different ways of self-love. Pick some flowers for yourself. I told myself, like, I don't want to go to the store and get flowers for myself. I want to go to the park and pick flowers and create a bouquet. I used to do floral arrangement. It was a vibe. But yeah. Okay, so the review, being patient, transmuting your emotions, and stepping into your power. Be okay to say no. It's okay to say no. Because when it's a yes, it's a yes. If you questioning it, it's a double O banger. It's a double O. It's a no. I haven't said that in a long time. I'm just playing with all these words today. But yeah, so trust in yourself, believe in yourself. I'm going to get out of here because my phone, well, not even just because of that. I feel like we've had the talk that we're supposed to have. It's amazing to experience you, Queen. I'm like, I can see a photo, but I don't see you. But I'm experiencing you because your energy is through the comments. So I receive you and I send love and hugs. So with all that being said, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, for your energy. I really appreciate you tapping in live. And then if you're watching it later on, I'm really dedicated to just building this show. I share it on my YouTube page as well, which is the same as my Instagram, Bubbles the Creative. I just would like to just continue building and growing and believing in myself as well, because I had stopped the show for a few months, and then I realized when I started the show, it was like September, and I'm like, dang, Dej, if you would have continued, like, I would have been a few months away from a year. But that's neither here nor there. It's okay. I had to learn. But now I'm like, I would like to stay consistent no matter what traveling I do. I would like this to be the day, Thursdays, that we come on here and we really just build with one another, for real, because I'm really passionate about just sharing my voice and sharing my stories, and for us to heal with one another. And I truly believe that the healing comes from us doing the work and not necessarily like feeling like you have to get to a certain point of like, I healed every single thing, let me go and share. It's like, nah, I know that I've overcome things, and then I know that I'm still overcoming things. And I'm not sure if it will ever be a point where I'm not going through something or overcoming something, because it's like, this is life, right? So if you feel called to create a safe space, but you're waiting for a certain like point to, don't wait. The fact that you're feeling called by your spirit to share and to build in that way, then that means that you're exactly where you need to be. And it's always going to be the people that's going to resonate with you is always going to find you. You're going to find them, and it's going to be this reciprocated energy. So I bubbly love y'all all. Thank you so much. The way that we start is the way we're going to end. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths and some affirmations, and we're going to get up out of here. So let's take a deep inhale. and hold. And release slowly. Another deep inhale. Hold it. Exhale slowly. One more, make it count. Deep inhale down to the toes. Hold. Exhale slowly. Give yourself a hug. Really embrace yourself. Say, I love me. I am royal. I am confident. I am beautiful. For my others, you know, I am handsome. I am attractive. Mind, body, and spirit, baby. I am free. I am whole. I have everything that I need. I am free expression. I am brave. I am love. I am unity. And then we're going to shake it all out. I release anything that is not serving me. I receive all that is for me. Ashe, ashe. That's all, folks. Give thanks for your time, your energy, your space, and being here to build and grow with me. I bubbly love you so much. And until next time, I look forward to the next show. So it's going to be on July 4th, I realized, and we're going to do a special in-person version with my brother Controversy, and we're going to talk about how men and women need to come together and work together to heal and just start to have them deep conversation and ting, and I'm sitting there. Alright. Thank you for joining us. Word. That's the way, again, how we give gratitude is just by our breath, right? Gratitude. The siren said it's time to go now. Alright, I really love y'all. See you soon. Peace.